Live from the Quad Cities with Morgan Otier and Kyle Keel. This is Quad Cities Live.
Today on QCL, the John Deere Classic is underway with the tournament itself getting started on the 4th of July. We'll take a closer look at how volunteers keep this magical event going year after year.
Plus, sound healing is a form of meditation, and it may be just the thing to help you balance your mental and physical well-being. Illuminate Healing Studio is here with details.
And later, bread, cookies, donuts, and much more. We'll introduce you to a bakery based in Geneseo, Illinois called North Street Treats. You're watching Quad Cities Live. It is Wednesday, July 3rd. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Morgan Otier alongside my co-host, Kyle Keel. Well, we know libraries, they are a popular spot, especially to beat the heat during the summer months. Many libraries have events that people of all ages really can enjoy.
And this, of course, includes the Silvis Public Library. Our friend Shanice Payne is joining us for our monthly look at what's going on at the library. Shanice, as always. Appreciate you being here today.
Yes, welcome back. Thank you.
Obviously, we've talked about it before here on the show. This year, big year. You're celebrating 100 years of serving Silvis and surrounding communities. So you've got events scattered throughout the year. And one of them is coming up next Thursday. And this all has to do with stargazing in space.
Yes, absolutely. So we couldn't think of a better way to beat the heat. So it starts at 7, goes till 9. So it's going to be a whole bring the family event. Bring your blanket. There's going to be stories and stargazing, and then Popular Astronomy Club. They're going to bring their mobile conservatory, so like everyone can look at the stars. And so
neat.
A really cool event. And then we have these goodie bags that everyone can get, or it's 200 people. The first that come, and then we also have 50 copies of the Pete the Cat.
Pete the Cat, that is a popular series. We're just getting into it at my house, so this will be for the first, how many is it again?
So 50 copies of the book, and then 200 copies of the goodie bags.
So what comes with the goodie bags? You got some goodies there.
Oh, absolutely. The kids always love the stress balls, and so a pencil. Yep, absolutely.
We need them too.
Yep, I've got a couple myself, and then pencils, get them kind of ready for the school, and then stickers, and then silly putty, all of it Galaxy themed.
Okay, well, we have some of it out here.
Slime.
The slime is so popular in my house, you would not believe it.
Same, and then some nice treats, again with the Galaxy theme, just to keep the kids interested and keep them munching as they look at the stars.
This is really, really cute that you guys have thought of this. So this is something the whole family can do.
Absolutely.
Where is it being held again?
Oh, so that's going to be at Galley Field. It's in Silvis, just up the street from the library. So yeah, it's
nice and close.
Yeah, absolutely.
Very cool. Well, the next event is really about celebrating history. So tell us about the Happy Invention, the history and significance of picture postcards.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's another big one that we have. We're continuing the history series. So this one, it's going to be the history of postcards, which I didn't know originated in Illinois.
Did it really?
Yeah. So Catherine Hamilton Smith is going to come and do a presentation and talk about the history of postcards, how they're founded, and just explore that, and then ties it back into Illinois history as well. And then we're also doing like a history punch card. So if you attend 6 out of our 8 events, this will be our second one, you get entered into a raffle.
Okay, so better start going now.
Yeah, absolutely.
That raffle. Tell us a little bit about Catherine Hamilton Smith, because this is a very big deal that people are going to get to hear from this person.
Yeah, absolutely. So it was through a grant through the Illinois Humanities, the Rhodes Scholar. So we were very excited to have an opportunity to bring in a speaker like this. And so she has been on NPR. She is a museum curator. She also has just a deep, deep educational history of postcards.
That's very, very cool.
Talk about this punch card. So some of the prizes, what do those include? Because this goes through the end of the year. So.
Yeah, absolutely. So we unveiled our new book, The History of Silvis, and we updated it up to 2024.
Awesome.
So everyone that enters and goes to 6 of the 8 events gets entered into the raffle to win a copy of the book, which we've sold a lot, but I think it'd be an opportunity for people to like give away an extra one for like Christmas or something like that, especially in time with the holidays.
Really good idea. And this event is geared more toward adults as well, correct?
Yes, absolutely, yeah. So we found that the adults enjoy it a little more. They can kind of see themselves in the history. It brings back memories. I see a lot of them, they're like, oh, I remember that, I remember that. And a lot of them are coming back into the library to see the new remodel and then the activities, and then they're coming with their grandkids and great-grandkids and things like that.
Definitely sparks the nostalgia, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So the biggest one, this is for adults and kids, is your annual Summer Fest that happens in August. So let's talk all about that, because there's a lot going on.
Oh, okay, deep breaths.
You're preparing now,
Yes,
actually.
absolutely.
About a month
this
away.
one, we know kids are not excited about going back to school. So this is our all hands on deck. We have so many people helping out with this. Anchor Lumber, we have the City of Silvis, Silvis Main Street, the Triangle, so we're going to put on a festival from 8 o'clock in the morning to 8 o'clock at night.
Wow.
Starts
Jam-packed day.
Absolutely. A car zone. There's going to start with a breakfast with the fire station, and then a bounce zone, kid area for the kids. And then we've been collecting the donations for the kids' backpacks. So we're going to give away 200 backpacks filled with supplies for
that's
kids.
incredible.
So just kind of get them jump started with a good start to the new school. If they're not excited, at least here's something to get you a little
Yeah, school
happier.
supplies and getting ready, I think that always helps a little bit, especially with some of the older kids.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the backpack donations, I know you've been on our show before and you've talked a little bit about that, but can people still donate? I mean, talk about that whole donation drive and how we can still get involved potentially.
Yeah, absolutely. So we are taking donations up until I think the week before. People can still drop them off to the library. We have them at the Silvis Fire Station, Police Station, Anchor Lumber, and then also at Jewel Osco.
All around town.
Yep, absolutely. And then if you can't make it in, we do have an Amazon wish list too that you can donate that way.
That's awesome. So Shanice, are you aware that this is 1 month from now?
Yes.
Yes, you are
it's on
aware.
my calendar in big, bold letters, and we are just scrambling, but we're so ready and excited for it. So it's going to be a good time.
You should stick around. We're going to do a sound bath later. Maybe that would help.
Yeah, that'll help you relax
I'm
your
so
mind
down.
and soul.
I heard it a little earlier, so I was like, what is that? I'm already soothed. So.
Yeah.
Good.
So yeah, that Summer Fest is happening on August 3rd from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. So a lot of fun jam-packed into that day. And we've covered a lot of real estate here on the show, but if you would like more details on the events that we discussed, as well as any of the events coming up at the Silvis Public Library, you can head to their website, silvislibrary.org. Shanice, as always, thank you so much.
Yes, good job. Thank you. Coming up on Quad Cities Live, celebrating the achievements of the past year while looking ahead to some exciting plans for the future. We'll sit down with Kyle Carter from the Downtown Davenport Partnership next.
QC, that's where we work best when we're together. QC, that's where is brought to you by a partnership with the Quad Cities Chamber and Visit Quad Cities.
QC, that's where. It's where our communities grow and thrive thanks to the innovation and pride among businesses and the people who live and work here. Joining me this afternoon is Kyle Carter with the Downtown Davenport Partnership. Kyle, welcome to the show.
Yeah, happy to be here.
Thank you so much for joining us today. We do have so much to talk about because your organization, Downtown Davenport Partnership, just held its annual meeting just last week and really felt like a celebration.
It did. It was a banner year. We had, over $40 million in projects that got off the ground, and the one that everyone, I think, took notice of was the Last Picture House opening this year, which is amazing.
Yes, it is truly amazing. There is a ton there, though, that you guys went over. You talked about the vision for the future, some historic infrastructure investments, which we're going to get to.
Yeah.
One thing, though, that you were quoted as saying is capital follows talent, talent follows place, and place needs investment. Explain that quote for us.
Yeah, that has to do with what kind of competition we're really up against in the United States, let alone the Quad Cities itself. If we're not investing in places that people really want to live and be and visit, then it doesn't matter how many jobs you create if no one wants to be there in the first place.
Sure.
And so I think sometimes we overlook the value of just quality of place in the relationship to economic development and really growing a community.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of growth. Speaking of that, in the community, you just touched on one huge project that was completed this year, which is the Last Picture House. Tell us a little bit about some of the other projects, just a few of them, because I believe you guys said there were 8 completed projects.
Yeah, so some of the big ones were there were several major housing projects done this year.
Okay.
One of the big ones there was Federal Point Apartments over by the YMCA.
Yep.
That was huge. Bowstring Lofts Apartments over at 2nd and Western. And there was, you know, about 26 other businesses, like small businesses, that came into downtown this year. So from the big stuff to the little stuff, it was a little bit of everything.
Yeah, and I think one of the most recent ones that we've been not only reporting in the news, but we've been hearing just on the street is that Great River Brewery is back.
Yes, yeah.
And you know, and at what a time, right?
Yeah, yeah, back from the dead just in time to visit another flood.
Right.
You know, on that note, you know, the water is high, but our businesses are dry, is what I've been.
They are open.
With. They are. They are very open.
And they would love to see you.
It is. We're good. I mean, there's detours. It's a pain in the neck at the moment with that. We're close, and we'll talk probably in a minute about infrastructure.
Yep.
To that being less of a pain in the neck here soon, though.
Yeah, I'm excited to get to that. We're going to move on from projects in just a minute, but can you give us a little hint, or maybe there are some things that are underway right now that we're going, what is that? What could that be?
Yeah, there's a great big project at 3rd and Main, the 3rd and Main apartments right there next to me and Billy, which will be some brand new market rate apartments and just completely transform that block. There's a lot of really cool improvements too in the alleyways that we're going to be doing.
Really?
Bucktown neighborhood, the Motor Row neighborhood as it's really known now. There'll be decorative archways installed with overhead Edison lighting all throughout the alleys.
That's awesome.
And we're going to put that in this summer.
That's very, very cool. And it's kind of reminiscent of something that they were doing at Mississippi River Distilling, which they're doing that really cool, like, loading dock music series on Friday nights. And I've never seen the alley look like that before.
Yeah, I think alleys are an underrated element of downtown. And if we dress them up, we do it right, they can be a really big asset for us.
They absolutely can. Okay, so you touched on infrastructure, and a lot of this is inspired by the announcement. I think it's a record $60 million infrastructure investment.
It is. I don't know that the city's really gotten the right credit for this. Over the last several years, they've assembled $60 million worth of projects, $50 million of which was paid for by federal and state grants. So that means all the flood mitigation that you're going to see along River Drive, all of the different connections to the different bridges, and then tying into Destination Iowa, which is the really cool, fun stuff with the giant playscape that's going to get built in LeClaire Park.
Amazing.
Yeah, and then the Lighten Up the Figgy while we're at it on top of that.
Yeah, Lighten Up the Figgy, and I'm sure they'll be on and talking about that with us here pretty soon. We love to have the Figgy on the show. This is going to be a really, really, just a beautiful thing to see.
It is. There's going to be a lot of construction in the next couple of years, and so it's our job to make sure we kind of leverage that and do more with it.
So a major part of, a pillar, I should say, of the meeting that you guys held just last week, advocacy and promotion. So in what ways would you say, Kyle, that we are showcasing our downtown, especially when it comes to our pride in our downtown? And two-part question, I suppose, do you think that there's anything that we can be doing as community members?
Yeah, I mean, to answer the second part first, just come down and support retail, support the restaurants, especially right now. We could really use it, and it'll make a huge difference. These are all local businesses, local people. These are neighbors, friends. There's actually not a corporately owned company in downtown Davenport in the retail restaurant. None. In the restaurant retail space, they are all 100% local. So that's cool. And then as we're doing more retail promotion, Alternating Currents is still like the poster child of what we're trying to do from a quality of place point of view. So leaning into that this August, I think, will really open people's eyes to what we've got going on.
I think you're right. And I think, you know, it's been catching on more and more. People are getting it, so to speak, for lack of a better term. They're understanding what we're trying to do with Alternating Currents. And I think it was probably last summer we really got it.
Yeah, I think the light bulb went off.
It did.
And you were an early adopter. You were very early on. You were helping to explain people that this is a choose your own adventure festival.
Absolutely.
And so it took years for us to develop downtown to a point that we had all these options, and now we're really hosting all these bands and comedians and films in spaces that are right in our own backyard, which is the South by Southwest model and exactly what we're trying to do.
It is easy, it is affordable, it is fun, it is just such a cool thing that we have going on here. So something to support and something that's easy to support.
It is, yeah. Like 95% of it is free.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, well, the Downtown Davenport Partnership really offers some great online resources as well, from ideas on where to eat drink, explore, to services like the Apartment Finder. And of course, there's going to be more apartments on there soon. For more information, visit downtowndavenport.com. Kyle, as always, thank you for being such a great advocate.
Yeah, thank you. This is great.
Here. Of course. Well, up next on Quad Cities Live, using gongs, drums, chimes, and bowls to achieve better mental health and overall well-being. We'll learn more about the benefits of sound healing next.
You're watching Quad Cities Live.
Sound healing has been used throughout history to help in harmonizing someone's emotional well-being. So how does it work? Becky Nakashima-Brooke is back in the QCL studio with us today. Becky, welcome back.
Thank you. Thanks for having me again.
We love having you here. Of course, Becky, you own Illuminate Healing Studio. You provide a variety of services, including sound healing. So before we get to play with all these really cool instruments, talk a little bit about who this is for.
So this is for everyone. It is something that can help us release stress, anxiety. It can help with grieving. It can help with all sorts of issues. I have anybody from the age of, well, I even have moms come in that are pregnant. So from in utero all the way up to till the end of their days. So
amazing.
Yeah.
And also we should mention, we'll get to the other services that you provide later in the show, but that is also something that you help with. Just all kinds of healing avenues is what you do. When it comes to sound healing, what do you think it is about the sounds that create that healing?
So that's really a good question. There's different. I brought an array of instruments today so you can kind of get a sense.
Okay.
So there's sounds that we play that are grounding, and then there's sounds that we play that are releasing. So sometimes we'll play two sounds together that don't sound good, but that helps the body start to vibrate in a way that releases what needs to be released.
Okay.
So the good thing about sound healing is that it doesn't take really much work out of the person getting it. The best thing they can do is just relax. Is my mic off?
No, you're okay.
Oh, thank you.
Just your hair.
Just my hair. So the best thing they can do is relax, and then the music will do the job for them.
Okay.
It doesn't mean that it's easy. Sometimes they'll have releases like you might feel heat or cold or crying or just an outburst of laughter. Yeah.
I think that would be such a difficult thing too for somebody who is in a world where maybe they don't do this often, or they're just kind of a go, go, go mentality. To focus just on being.
Exactly.
Would be so difficult, but that's what this is supposed to help with.
That's a lot of my work, is getting people to embody themselves, to get back into the body where, like you said, going, and caring for people, taking care of our jobs, and we don't often get that time to look within.
Yeah.
The other great thing about sound is that a lot of people will say they can't meditate, or like, I can't sit still.
Oh, yeah.
And sound is a really nice way to get people to meditate without them having to focus so hard, so deeply.
Yes.
Yeah.
So describe, I'm going to try and move out of the way a little bit, some of the instruments that you brought with you today.
Sure.
And how did you learn how to use all of these?
Sure. So Natalie Brown is my main teacher. She's out of Cedar Rapids, and I took two courses from her. And then a lot of it is just playing, reading, watching, going and getting it done for myself.
Yeah.
I grew up, my dad was a musician, and he was not to shorten what I do, but he was a real musician. So we always had music in the house.
Yeah, it's part of you.
Yeah. So knowing like what sounds good, and what songs bring joy, what songs bring sorrow. But one of the things that is a really nice way to experience sound is these tuning forks.
Okay.
So these are very balancing. I'm going to set this here so I don't drop it on my crystal balls. So I'm going to play these in your ears. You can see them vibrating.
Yeah.
So yeah, these can bring you back to, I recommend these for focus. A lot of people, some of my clients will have these at their desk if they get stressed out.
I could see that.
And you can carry them, they're easy to carry. So that you're hearing through your ears, but then there's weighted tuning forks, and these you feel through your skin, so if you don't mind.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So this is part of it.
This is part of it, yeah. Because if you think about, like, if you go to a concert or if you hear music, sometimes you're hearing it through your skin, you're feeling it through your skin
Feeling the
too.
vibration of the music, absolutely.
Yeah.
Wow, that's cool.
And the Himalayan bowls or Tibetan bowls, we play those on the bodies sometimes. So the other interesting thing is if you see like all these mallets I have.
Yes.
So like the gong right there, I have 3 different types of mallets I can use for it. These crystal bowls, I have 2 different, well actually I have 3 right there, but
Yeah.
essentially there's 2 different types. The tuning forks you can tap with the mallet or you can click them together, but each one creates a different sound. So I can hit this, but then I can also sing it.
Wow, I
And so
love
that,
this.
yeah. So
I
that
can
was great.
understand why this would be beneficial.
Yeah,
That's cool.
yeah, I love it.
Cool. Okay, you wanted me to sit here.
Yeah, so I want you to experience what the gong.
I lose my microphone.
It's tricky. You got a tricky
I've got a tricky mic situation. both
mic
of us.
situation.
Okay, so I'm seated.
Okay, so you can gently close your eyes or soften your gaze if you want. And I'm going to play this gong behind you.
Okay.
Just try to drop into your center, so start to relax into your tummy, noticing your breath, and then begin to take in the sounds.
Wow.
Yeah, and then after something like that, we would generally use something, to clear. So we'll use chimes or bells, rattles, rain sticks, all sorts of different things.
I love that. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, and you have some events coming up as well that I want to get to. So you do sound healing, you do sound baths at Illuminate.
Yes.
But you're also trying to incorporate nature. So tell us about the events that you have coming up at Nahant Marsh.
Yeah, so the one this Saturday, because of the flood, is going to be moved.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, so if you go to the website, you'll see I'm going to not do the, I think you pronounce it Schuetzen?
Schuetzen?
Thank you.
You're
Yes.
so welcome. That is a really great place for it, actually.
I've never been, so
It
I'm
is
excited.
beautiful, historic, it's lush, it's really great.
Oh,
Yes.
great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's going to be perfect.
So yeah, Nahant Marsh, and I'm actually going to be doing one at Armored Gardens in August.
Cool.
So it's out in nature, downtown, and yeah, and I do Qigong. I'm doing Qigong at Prospect Park this Sunday. It's free. That one's free. The other ones are pay, but just show up at 10 o'clock, and you don't need to know anything. Qigong is a nice way too to meditate through movement, and it's a nice way to connect to nature.
Yeah, well, you have certainly convinced me. Thank you so much. And if you want to learn more about the service that Becky just described, visit Illuminate Healing Studio on the web at illuminatehealingstudio.com. And we have the website right there on the screen. Becky, as always, thank you so much.
Thank you.
I
Thank you,
appreciate
Morgan.
all of this. It was great.
Oh, thank you.
Well, still to come in our second half hour of QCL, the magic is about to begin on the course at TPC Deer Run in Silvis. John Deere Classic Week is already underway with the tournament starting tomorrow. We'll get to know some of the volunteers who help make it happen. And later, there's a bakery based in Geneseo, Illinois, but you can find their delicious items at markets all over the QCA. We'll take a closer look at the delicious menu offered at North Street Treats. Well, the John Deere Classic is underway this week, and the first round of tournament play is beginning tomorrow.
Yeah, that's right. And a big part of what makes this week so special year after year, the volunteers. TV6 Sports Director Joey Dania takes us to TPC Deer Run for the magic that is the Classic.
Every year, the John Deere Classic generates millions of dollars for local charities. Last year alone, more than $14 million was raised. But the total economic impact the tournament makes on the Quad Cities is far greater. The The John Deere Classic had massive attendance in 2023, and according to a study based on data from the John Deere Classic and Visit Quad Cities, last year's tournament made a total economic impact of more than $70 million. For local businesses like the Deerfield Family Restaurant in East Moline, being located just 1 mile from TPC Deere Run, makes John Deere Classic Week the busiest week of the year.
My dad started this business 25 years ago, December 1999, and it's always been in the family, and we always grew up with a restaurant. We are stable in our business and everything, but something new and extra always helps. During the week of the John Deere Classic, you'll see new faces that come for the tournament. It's a busier week than usually, even though we have the regular crowds here that we see every day. But during that week, it's a little bit busier. We know what's going to happen, and we prepare ahead for the John Deere week.
At the heart of the John Deere Classic are the thousands of people that have volunteered for decades. Many of them come back each and every year. Susie Archer has been volunteering for more than 2 decades.
My brother volunteered for many years, and he got me to come out 1 year, and I've been hooked ever since. I started on the cart committee. For several years, I did the standard bearers where you hold the score sign and all that. That was a lot of fun. I did both committees for several years, and then when I became a committee chair, then that's all I do is the cart committee now. I like to be busy, and I think that helps keep me young, because I'm not young anymore. And, you know, I like to be around people, and I like to, you know, use my whatever little skills I have and help others. You know, that's why we're here, I think, you know. The John Deere Classic people that work and volunteer here are like a family, and getting to see them every year is just fun.
Another longtime volunteer at the tournament is a face TV6 viewers know well. Sharon DeReek has been volunteering for the John Deere Classic for over 2 decades.
The perspective that you get when you're there, you're inside the ropes, so you're right with the players. I mean, there are times when the players will have to say, hey, can you move over this way because you're in my line or whatever. So, I mean, you get to see great golf, and you do walk the entire course, which by the time you know, you get in, you know, get to where you need to go, you're easily walking 5 to 6 miles in a round, and it's not an easy walk.
That's pretty fun. When I was a standard bearer, I like to walk with the, you know, with the golfers and do that kind of stuff. And I've had my picture with a few of the golfers, and that's pretty fun. And when Bill Murray was here, Bill and I caught eyes, and he came over and, you know, chatted with me and gave me a hug and a kiss. So, yeah, that was a favorite story.
I feel really fortunate that we have a PGA Tour event in the Quad Cities. And I don't think a lot of people realize, like, how unique it is. I mean, there aren't, you know, there are cities that are way larger than the Quad Cities, metropolitan areas, that don't have a PGA event.
It's huge for the Quad Cities. It's huge not just for the charities. It's not huge just for the people, but you've got the business owners, you know, people buy food, they buy, you know, stay in hotels, they do all that stuff. So it's great for our community.
I just would really encourage anybody who's never volunteered for the John Deere to give it a try. I mean, they need thousands of people to make this tournament a reality. And not all of the jobs are as physical as mine, you know.
Some people walk the course when they standard bear or they're scorers or whatever, and some of us ride around on carts or, you know, have to do other things, but there's so many options, you know. Check them out, you know. We need more volunteers here as well as other places, you know, doing other things in the Quad Cities.
There are so many wonderful people who volunteer at the John Deere Classic, and this tournament wouldn't be possible without them. Their devotion to the John Deere Classic is a testament to the pride they have for this community, and they make it a much better place. Reporting from TPC Deere Run in Silvis, Illinois, I'm Joey Daniel.
Great story by Joey, and thanks to all the volunteers who helped make that event so great here in the Quad Cities. And for a variety of stories celebrating summer rather in the Quad Cities, visit our website, kwqc.com. And if you want to learn more about the John Deere Classic schedule or purchase tickets to the tournament, visit johndeereclassic.com.
Well, up next on Quad Cities Live, we hope you're in the mood for some sweet treats because there's a bakery in Geneseo, Illinois offering everything from bread to cookies and donuts. Meet North Street Treats after the break.
You're watching Quad Cities Live.
There is a home bakery open for business in Geneseo, Illinois, with something on the menu for pretty much everyone.
Yes, that's because North Street Treats also caters to folks who are gluten-free or vegan. Jill Gephardt is the owner, and she is joining us in the kitchen this afternoon. Jill, welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you for being here. Everything that you brought with you looks absolutely fabulous.
It does. Smells good too.
Yes, it does. So we're gonna talk about that in just a minute. But first, we want to hear all about you. So when did you get started in baking? You said you've been doing this for a really long time.
Ever since I can remember.
Really?
It's just something that I've always loved to do, is just be in the kitchen and just baking away.
How did you learn how to bake? This is coming from somebody who I've tried. Like, during COVID, I couldn't even bake a chocolate chip cookie from scratch. Like the first time was just terrible. Do not laugh. It was bad.
No, I feel you because I'm the same way. I can barely make chocolate chip cookies.
Exactly. So did somebody teach you? Are you self-taught? How did that come about?
Pretty much just self-taught, I guess.
Wow.
I just grew up in a house where there was always dessert, you know, all the time, and I just, you know, gradually started, you know, latchkey kids. Just, you know, just bake something for dessert.
Yeah.
Right? And I don't know, just kind of took off. I just love doing it. It's like, it's my happy place, I think.
Awesome.
So you've been doing this a long time. You love it, obviously, like you mentioned. So when did it kind of click to you, like, you know what? I'm going to make this the thing that I do. I'm going to make this my business.
Yeah.
Well, last spring, I realized that our youngest child was getting ready to graduate, and I had a big milestone birthday and was realizing that the next chapter is coming up fast.
Yeah.
And I needed something to do and something to fill my time and something to keep me busy. So I thought, okay, let me try our local farmers market.
Yeah.
And it
took off
a hit. It took off, and it was almost like addicting. Once you're there once,
yeah.
You know, it's like, ooh, let me see how much will I sell next week, and who, you know, so.
And who comes back and says, wow, like we brought this home and that was amazing, and they come back to see you week after week. I mean, that's really cool. So that's the Geneseo Farmers Market, which is also a really special farmers market. We've talked to them on the show before. So it is a great place. You also participated in a really cool competition, and is this an apron here or a t-shirt? Okay. So tell us a little bit about what this is.
Okay, well, they have a vegan chef challenge of the Midwest, and I saw about it on Facebook, and they were advertising for food trucks. I thought, well, I'm not a food truck, I just have a little tent. So after a while, I just reached out. I was like, hey, can I be part of this?
Yeah.
And they said, sure, and I was the only bakery. Everybody else I was competing against was restaurants.
Oh.
So I had to create 3 new vegan recipes for it, and ended up taking 3rd place.
Congratulations.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
That's really incredible.
So why was it so important to you to have these options for people, these vegan options, these gluten-free options? Why was that so important to kind of center what you do around that?
Well, we have friends and family who are very allergic to like everything, so very gluten-free, and then we have other family members who are vegan, and I think they were about to miss out on like some holidays with us, so my husband and I were like, well, let's learn how to make some vegan dishes, and we'll have some desserts, and that way you guys can come join us. And then it just kind of became, the more I started learning about it, the more interested I got in doing it, and the more it became a challenge of, okay, I'm going to take my grandmother's recipe and I'm going to make it possible to make it gluten-free or vegan and taste good at the same time.
And I think that's the key, is you make sure that you have it taste good, like there's no difference. So you've actually brought a few examples for us. So talk about what you brought today.
Yes, I brought, well, these are gluten-free oatmeal cookies with chocolate chips. Okay. This cake here, it's vegan. It's a lemon cake with lemon frosting, a strawberry filling.
I want to try that one.
Yes.
Yeah, I've got one of my best sellers is peanut butter and jelly cookie sandwiches. Those are really good.
Those look great.
Yep. And then I've got some peanut butter bites there, and that's just an example of one of the things that I can make either vegan or gluten-free, or just I call it regular. So I try to have lots of recipes where I can bake like for everybody.
Wow. I had the vegan lemon cake.
Yeah, that is vegan. You would not even know.
No.
I don't even really tell people anymore. It's just a lemon cake with strawberry filling.
There's no point.
No, there's no point.
And same with this. This tastes exactly like peanut butter and jelly. This is amazing.
I want to try that now.
Yeah,
Thank
there's
you.
one left for you, Morgan.
Yay! And all these are examples of things that I can make. Like crisp are super easy. You know,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you
seasonal
got-
fruit. Yeah.
Can I just say, I
Right
almost
here.
licked the fork and then remembered that I'm on TV. And how
She wants to go back for more. It's so
ridiculous
good.
that would be.
I'm gonna have to, you sold it to me. I'm gonna try that.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
really good. It's
Yeah.
really good. Something else that you are kind of challenging yourself to do, I was reading about you, is that you're trying to use less or no artificial or substitute ingredients. That
Yes.
is, I mean, that's got to be actually kind of tough.
It is, but I like it. I really enjoy it.
like the
I try to
challenge.
stick to things like applesauce or just your basic things. You know, I use plant milk. Sometimes I go through 3 or 4 recipes that go in the trash, and sometimes I can't figure it out.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really try to do. I don't like the idea of using anything that says substitute or artificial.
Yeah.
Or,
I'm sure your customers appreciate that too.
Yeah, well, that defeats the purpose
Yeah.
of, you know, trying to bake healthier and better.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I brought some examples of the things that I bake with. I've even found this organic all vegetable shortening.
Oh.
So even though it
Good
is
for you.
shortening and it's a fat, it's still on the healthier end.
It is. That's
I
great.
guess.
So how can people get in contact with you if they want to purchase some of
Yeah.
your sweets or get something made for them?
Well, I am on Facebook. You can email me at northstreettreats@yahoo.com, or I do have a phone number listed on Facebook as well. I don't know. There it is.
Yep, we have that on your screen right now.
You can contact me any of those ways. I do porch pickup. I can bake cakes for birthdays. I can
Oh,
do whatever.
perfect.
Yep. I am found twice a week in Moline at Marketplace at 2500.
Very nice.
I try to hit there with the food trucks, which is nice. We get to have lunch every day. And then the Geneseo Farmers Market on Saturday morning.
Very cool.
And then just if you need something, let me know.
You're
I'm
easy
baking
to get
every
a hold
day.
of. Yeah,
So,
there's a Facebook page on the screen.
Yeah.
Jill, wow, thank you so much
Yeah.
for coming in today.
This is
It's
great.
been a
Thank you.
joy talking to you, and congratulations
Thank
on all
you.
your success.
Thank you very much.
All right.
All right, thank you so much for watching Quad Cities Live. We have a lot more to get to as well because we have wins of the week because we don't have a show tomorrow or Friday. So we're going to talk about a little something one of us did with the kids. It's my win. We'll talk about it next.
All right, well, with the holiday week upon us, we decided that now is the time to do our wins of the week that we typically do on Fridays. So, Kyle, we've only had a few days, but you've already got some wins in there.
I do, yeah. Obviously, as you mentioned on Monday, I had my birthday. My birthday was
Yes.
July 1st on Canada Day.
On Canada
So yeah, what a great day to have the birthday, right? Well, surprisingly, I took no pictures. Had a great day with my family.
That
They
means you
surprised
had
me.
a great day.
It was a great day. They surprised me with cake, coffee, breakfast, and then I went to have lunch with my dad. That was great.
great.
And also on that day, we decided to make some hummingbird food for
Nice.
our new hummingbird feeder, and we got that hung up today, or I should say the other day. And then today we actually got our first hummingbird, which the kids were super excited about. But of course,
Congratulations.
wife Rosalie could not get that captured on camera because those hummingbirds are really
They're
fast.
fast.
Yeah, if you've ever made the hummingbird food, it's very sticky, and of course the kids loved making it with us. So how much your win?
Cool. My win was actually I brought Darby to work with me last night,
Yes.
and we had severe weather coverage. Of
Yeah.
course, we saw Kyle and Eric and Teresa behind the scenes. Well, she was in the studio doing
This
her own
cracked
little
me up.
rain dance in there, and I was so worried that Kyle or Eric would get distracted
Yeah.
from
Look at
doing
her.
their jobs while she was doing her little dance. So I got her out of there and got her at my desk. And,
You can see Eric doing the wall of all that. That's funny.
Exactly.
That's
So
hilarious.
my win of the week is just more time with Darbs at
Yes.
work, and we got a laugh out of it.
She's so cute.
Thank you so much for watching, and enjoy your 4th of July.
Marsha's up next with your news at 4.